Welcome to the Manifestation Babe podcast. My name is Catherine Zinkina, and I'm a manifestation expert, master mindset coach, and multiple seven-figure entrepreneur. I'm obsessed with helping you achieve everything that you once thought was impossible. If you're looking to massively up-level your life, your finances, your relationships, your productivity and success, then you have come to the right place. My goal in this podcast is to help you see the infinite potential within yourself to be, do, and have anything that your heart desires. Think of this podcast as your weekly dose of mindset development to help you maximize who you are and where you're going. Leave it to me to provide you with the tools, the resources, the strategies, and teachings that you need to manifest a reality wilder than your wildest dreams. I know we're about to have so much fun together, so thank you so much for pushing play today. And now let's begin. Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Manifestation Babe podcast. I'm super duper excited to have you here. It is currently Saturday. I know this doesn't matter, but I just feel like updating you guys on my day every now and then and what I'm up to. I have a plan to lock myself in my office and do like a big podcast weekend for basically like batching episodes for the next couple weeks. So this is really exciting. I don't normally do this. Usually I take it one at a time, but I figured you guys love the podcast. I love the podcast. Let's just get some episodes out there. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And before I dive into today's episode, I'm sure if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen that I'm hosting a free 5-day workshop on February 21st called Breakthrough to Abundance. And if you've been around long enough to have gone through one of my free workshops, you know how shifting they are in such a short amount of time. And they're literally my favorite thing in the world to do. I only do them about twice a year around the launch of the Manifestation Babe Academy. And if you're new here and you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you're literally in for a wild ride. Like, this is the best place to go to learn a ton in just 5 days, and it's completely free. If you ever feel like, in spite of your best efforts to do the work and apply the work and learn the techniques and learn the hack and invest in your personal development, there's still something missing. Like, you just can't figure out what is missing, or no matter what you try or how hard you hustle, like how much time and effort and how hard you work, you're still struggling to manifest the abundant life that you deeply desire. Or maybe you feel like you're constantly like spinning your wheels with like you're putting so much into it and you have absolutely nothing to show for it because you believe like there's a block, like you must have a block, like you must have a curse, right? There's something that you just can't seem to break through. If any of this resonates, then this workshop was literally created for you. So it starts on the 21st. I've been posting a little bit about it on my Instagram so far by the time that this podcast goes live. But I also want to make sure that those of you who maybe follow me less on the socials and tune in more on the podcast, that you get all the deets and all the info. So you're going to get to learn the best abundant hacks from yours truly and get some serious momentum in your manifestation journey, whether you're brand new to this, like brand spanking new, you just discovered what manifestation is, maybe just in the last month, or you've been in this world for a little while, or maybe you've been in this world for a long time and you just want a refresher and you really want that juicy momentum to kickstart 2022, that you're the perfect person for this workshop. So you can find all the details and you can actually sign up directly and make sure you register and sign up. There's going to be like fun prizes that I'm giving away. You're also going to get all the updates and obviously know like when the workshop actually starts. You don't have to worry about necessarily like marking your calendar or tracking anything. I'm just going to keep you fully updated. So that's manifestationbabe.com/abundance. Again, that's manifestationbabe.com/abundance. Super duper easy. Okay, so speaking of abundance, right? I wanted to tie this in all together, especially around the workshop promo and how I've gotten a lot of requests to talk a little bit more about abundance because I asked you guys for some ideas and like topic requests for the podcast, since I was going to go in my dungeon, my cave, my office, and literally glue myself to a microphone for a couple hours per day to get some episodes out. And someone asked me like, hey, Catherine, how do you start living life abundantly, especially when you have nothing to show for it? Like, especially when it's so hard to do because you literally have very little maybe in your bank account, right? And you know that the key to living an abundant life is to be abundant, but there's literally nothing to show for it. And so you're really struggling and you are in like scarcity mode, you're in lack mode, like you're in survival mode, and you have such a hard time activating feeling like you're abundant because, again, there's nothing in your reality to show for it. So I wanted to create an episode around this because, so many of us and here's the thing, scarcity exists even if you're making millions of dollars, right? That's what people don't understand, is that scarcity isn't necessarily a way for you to describe your reality, although it can be. It's also for you to describe the way that you feel, where even if you're making like $100,000 a month, and I see this, I've been in the business world for a little while. I've been around really big players, people who make millions of dollars in revenue, but very little profit to show for it, right? They might make $100,000 a month, but their expenses are like $95,000 a month. And so really they feel scarce because they're putting in so much work and so much effort. And they have this like illusion of being super abundant and super rich and having lots of money and success. But really, they could just work like a 9 to 5 and not put so much effort and stress into their life, just clock in, clock out, and make $5,000 a month or whatever it is. And they're fine. So it's kind of like, what's the point? And so abundance has a lot to do with your perspective, your perception, your mindset, the way that you see the world. Okay. So when we think about abundance, most people go straight to money. So we think about the dollar bills in our bank account, which of course is a good point because that is one expression of abundance, right? Someone asked me what my tips are for getting into abundance, like I said, when their bank account is actually very low. And I immediately realized how prominent this connection is, okay? Yes, abundance has to do with money, but here's what shifted abundance for me. Here's what got me to be abundant. Here's what got me to manifest more money, especially when I had very, very, very little of it. And I want you to start looking at abundance the same way because this will help you not just create more money, because more money is awesome, but it's like what you do with the money and how you feel around the money, right? And how relaxed you are around money and the quality of life that you're living and having time freedom to be able to enjoy the money. It's so much more than just the physical dollar bills. There is a plethora of many things that have to do with abundance that allows you to be abundant. It's about being abundant in all areas of your life, which is what, of course, the workshop is for. It's not just money, although money is awesome. And of course, I'll help you manifest lots of money, but it's also you manifesting abundance in your relationship, abundance in your health, abundance in your vitality, abundance in how you feel, abundance in like energy, so many different things. By the way, if I sound like I'm out of breath from talking, it's because I'm pregnant. Okay. I can't, I literally lose steam when I talk and I'm just like running out of oxygen as I speak. So if you hear me extra breathy in the next 6 months, it's because your girl is pregnant. Okay. So just forgive her for a bit. So like I said, yes, abundance has to do with money, but here's how I want you to look at abundance from now on. Money is a reflection of the relationship that you have with the energy of abundance. Okay. So money is a byproduct. Money is a reflection of the relationship that you have with the energy of abundance. So what does abundance mean? Okay. I Googled it. I wanted to get the definition, right? The legit definition. So abundance means something in great or plentiful supply. Now notice how this can totally pertain to money, and it totally does. But notice how it doesn't say anything about money here. It is something in great or plentiful supply. So it pertains to so much more. Okay. So in order for you, since again, money is a byproduct, right? Money is one aspect of abundance. Let's not go to the symptom, because money is a symptom of your relationship with abundance. Let's go to the root. Okay. And let's strengthen your relationship with abundance. So what I want you to do, especially if this is new to you or you're struggling with this, is I want you to stop looking at things in your life as being scarce or in limited supply, because it's so easy for you to just look at your bank account and think your life is so scarce or everything's in limited supply or this is like a code red emergency. What I want you to do instead is I want you to start taking inventory of, and I've really been a fan of this lately, a bunch of Q&As that I've done inside of MBA. People ask me for like tactical tips to overcome things or think about things differently. And my like answer to everything is like, all right, let's take inventory of this, right? So I want you to take inventory of how much abundance you already have in your life. So going beyond money, I want you right now to take inventory of how much love you have in your life. Okay, think about the relationships. Think about the amazing friendships you have. Think about the online connections. Can we just think about the fact that there's what? I don't really know the actual number, maybe 400 million people on Instagram that you can connect with at like the tips of your finger. There's an abundance of people. Okay. There's an abundance of relationships, abundance of potential relationships, abundance of potential opportunities, right? Love. Even if you only share love between you and one other person, like, I'm just thinking of all the excuses you guys can give me, right? Like, but Catherine, I only have one friend. Okay. Think about how much love you have between you and this friend and how there's an abundance of it. It literally doesn't run out. You love this person. The next day you keep loving them. The next day you keep loving them. The next day you keep loving them. It's like the love doesn't run out. It's not like, sorry, I don't love you today because I ran out of love. That just doesn't happen. There's an abundance of it. Look at how much food is currently in your fridge, or at least how many options you have for food at the base of your fingertips. If you live in a big city like I do, Los Angeles, go on Postmates or DoorDash or any of those apps and just look at how many fucking options you have, right? It's insane. There's an abundance of food on this planet. Look at how many, like, go out in nature. And nature was a huge part of my abundance relationship. And I'll talk about that in just a bit. Like, I'll expand on it a little bit more. But look at how many trees, flowers, plants surround you in nature. When walking down the street at any given moment, I don't know if you've ever actually looked at a tree closely. I know we're so busy. We have our heads down in our phones. We're listening to a podcast. We're not really spending time in nature anymore. But I want you to go on a walk today. And I don't care where you live. You can live in the desert. Okay. I'm sure there's a cactus somewhere. And I want you to just look at anything and try to count how many leaves are growing on that tree, how many spikes are on that one cacti, right? I just want you to just get lost in like being like, holy fuck, even this one cacti, one tree, one flower, one plant has an abundance of leaves. Right? It's insane. This was a huge deal for me. And I'll talk about that again in just a moment. I want you to take a deep breath in with me. Literally right now, I for sure as hell need a deep breath because I'm running out of breath. Hold on. Feel how good that feels and feel into how much oxygen is in the air right now for you to have plenty to breathe. You're not running out of air. No one's running out of air. No one's worried about running out of air. Like, everyone is just breathing and they're not even thinking about it. And they take for granted how amazing it is that one of the core nutrients to keep you alive, oxygen, is just circulating in the air and no one's really seeing it. No one's really paying attention to it. No one's really thinking about it, but it's there for us to breathe. Think about how many people surround you on any given moment that could be potentially an access point for endless opportunities. Think about how many, for example, this always blows my mind. especially being pregnant and thinking more and more about what a miracle it is that, you know, my body is like growing another body. That's so crazy. Like there's a body inside a body. What? Think about how many atoms and molecules and cells make up your body, right? So many. I dare you. I triple dog dare you to count the atoms that make up you right now. Okay. Go buy a microscope that's strong enough to, first of all, see atoms. All right. And start counting. Okay. Good luck with that. There is a fucking abundance of it. And again, taking inventory of anything else that is an abundant supply, of course, counts here. And you'll recognize like, holy crap, scarcity is just my perception. Scarcity is my expectation. Scarcity is what I think I'm supposed to be receiving, or what I think is supposed to be happening, or what I think I'm supposed to be manifesting. And yes, I get to have everything that I want. And there might be certain things in my life right now that I don't yet have, but it doesn't mean that I'm not already abundant. So you're going to realize how much abundance you actually have access to right here that you may be taking for granted. So this is where I started when I had very little money. And I'll give you guys like more tactical tips that you can actually start practicing, okay, to help you embody this. So in my earliest teachings, I don't know if you followed me back in 2016, but I always commented, this is one of my abundance teachings, or just how I recognized how abundant I am, is because I would always look outside my window in my bedroom at my parents' house. And I lived in Washington State. If you're familiar with the Pacific Northwest, there's a lot of freaking trees. Okay. It's so filled with nature. And I used to look outside and I would look at a tree. And again, I would start practicing, like trying to count all the little leaves and realize it's physically impossible for me to. And I would see how abundant and like not worried about abundance nature is, and how if that's nature and I'm a part of nature, then I must be abundant too. And it's only the ego that isn't able to see this, because the ego is constantly deleting, distorting, and generalizing reality and information coming in according to the beliefs that we already hold about abundance. And so many of us think that if we're not millionaires, then we're not actually abundant. And that's just a belief. That's a belief that you choose to believe, right? That's just an expectation that someone or society or a parent or whomever placed on you. It became a belief, and now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're constantly worried about what you don't have instead of, and I know it's easier said than done, trust me, everything worthwhile is easier said than done. And that's why so few people experience true abundance, is because they're not willing to do this hard mindset work. It really is hard work, but it has a lot to do with your mindset, right? So it's like perspectives that you try on and that you hold and that you choose to see life differently. Like that's the real work here. And like I said, if you believe that there isn't enough to go around, then of course that's what's going to consistently show up for you. So like I said, money is a byproduct of feeling abundant, and even more so being abundant. So what I want you to do today is I want you to ask yourself, what would the most abundant version of me do today? Okay. And you'll start to notice that like something will come up. And I used to ask this question back in 2016, back in 2015, when I started to really deep dive into my personal development journey. And what I did back then when I asked this question, like various practices or various things would come up for me. So for example, and feel free to borrow these ideas. So early on in my journey, I used to abundantly give out compliments to strangers. Doesn't cost a damn thing, but it makes people feel good. It makes you feel good because you're making people feel good. And then you're realizing, like, when you feel good, you're a magnet to abundance. When you feel good, you're a magnet to money. And so I just used to be like, what can I give out today? Oh, compliments. Okay, let me go make people feel good. Let me do kind things for others. You know, in a world with so much negativity, how can I be the positive light? I used to walk around, now being more tactical with money, I used to walk around, and I told this to my friend, how I created the disconnection between, giving to a specific person and expecting to receive from that specific person, and instead connecting my receiving with the universe. What I used to do back with spare change, you guys, everyone's got some spare change. Okay. Look under your couch, look in the cushions. I used to fill up parking meters. I used to walk around where I worked or around where Brennan lived in downtown LA. And I used to just fill up people's parking meters with spare change that I had. A quarter here, 50 cents here, 10 cents here, whatever. I used to give like people 5 minutes here, an hour there. And it's so interesting because I manifested some of the best parking karma. I can't tell you how many parking tickets I have somehow not gotten, even though I clearly forgot to pay the meter or I overstayed my time, because I literally did this back in the day. And I still every now and then do this, but differently, like where I say I pull into a spot that has a parking meter and I only need 20 minutes because I'm going to be in and out. I'm going to like quickly go grab something. And I just know I don't need that much time. Well, what I'll do is I'll pay the full 2 hours, and like someone who's going to come in after me, because I know this is like a busy area, will just have my time. Like who cares? You know, that's what abundance is. There's plenty more to go around. Another activity, and again, I didn't have expectations. I'm like, oh, they better pay me back, right? No, that's not the game here. The game is to act as if you are always in overflow. And again, it's not just money, it's everything, right? Your energy is an overflow. Your kindness is an overflow. Your money is an overflow. Everything's an overflow. I used to hide $20 bills in Target in Gig Harbor, Washington. If you know where that is, you know the Target I'm talking about. I literally, with my 10-10-10 rule, which 10% of my weekly income from my business at the time, which was Beachbody, let's say I got paid $1,000. So $100 a week, I would convert into like $20 bills. So 5. And I would write a sticky note that would say, just, if you found this is for you. Just remember, like, don't worry about returning it. You know, it's your money. Just remember that money is an unlimited resource and it is always circulating around you and flowing your way. And then I would just like hide them like in a book or under a chair or like wherever, under a pillow or under a makeup, you know, anywhere. And it was just so much fun for me because it made me feel like I'm in overflow. I can totally afford to give out $100 to random people in Target. I made it a game and I wanted to help people learn the lesson with me. It was just like so much fun for me. I should seriously do that again. Like I should go to, you know, I'm going to do that. Okay. I'll document it on Instagram too. When I do it, I'm going to go to some random Target or something like that and leave like $100 bills everywhere. So maybe you'll be in the Target at the same time as me and maybe you'll manifest $100. And if not, I know that the right soul is going to receive that $100. So choose an activity or practice that feels right for you, that feels exciting for you, and just start practicing it. I don't care if you have $5 to your name right now. Act like 50 cents of it or 25 cents of it or whatever is an overflow to you. Like I have 50 cents excess, extra, overflow, more than I know what to do with, and just give it away. Circulate it. Make someone's day with it, whatever. I know you may be wondering, like, Catherine, but how exactly is this going to fill up my bank account, right? But that's not your business right now. Because think about it. If you're vibrating on the frequency of overflow, overflow has to come back to you. So your bank account is going to start overflowing. And how that happens is opportunities are going to start overflowing. You're going to start manifesting like people wanting to give you money. You're going to manifest ideas that make money. You're going to manifest some situation that makes your boss look at you and go, you know what? You're overdue for a bonus. You're overdue for a raise, right? Or you come up with an invention. Like, who knows? Maybe you're going to be the next Spanx. I don't know. Like, maybe you're going to come up with some genius invention or something really cool. It's going to turn into a $1 billion business, right? Because one day of your life, you decided to act like your money is already in overflow. And of course, it's not just one day, you guys. It's compounded over time. You have to be this way all the time. You have to be that version of yourself all the time, right? And it's going to come back to you. Your only business is to dispel all the doubts, all negative beliefs that you hold about abundance and limitations, and act like the most abundant soul in the universe. And it will come back to you. That's fucking called law of attraction, right? That's like the simplest law in the universe. My shaman actually says it is the most important law in the universe, the law of attraction. He also interchanges it with the law of abundance. And yes, he has a strong, thick Mexican accent. And so I love it so much. And when he says abundance, it's abundance. And I'm obsessed with it. And literally, I will sometimes hear the word abundance in his voice for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, it will come back to you because you're strengthening your relationship to abundance. And what you put out there, like law of attraction, law of abundance, law of magnetism, so many different ways we can call it, it's going to attract that right back to you. You just have to keep up with it and not have expectations. And that's what's going to fuck you up. Is like, but Catherine, I did this for 5 days and nothing happened. No. Like you have to be willing to do this for the rest of your life and not get a single damn thing in return. And then in that energy, that's true detachment. Will you manifest it back? Okay, so if you're ready to go deeper with me and you want more on abundance, I have so much more to give you, and you're ready to manifest the most abundant year of your life, which means abundance in all areas. Yes, it includes money and success and everything like that, but also so much more. Make sure to sign up for my free 5-day workshop where we're going to go and take a deeper dive into how to manifest this abundance easily, effortlessly, in your freaking sleep, okay? At manifestationbabe.com/abundance. Definitely bring a friend with you, bring your family with you, get as many people in your community to sign up as possible, because the more people who are living abundantly around you, the more likely you are to keep up that practice because you're being influenced by the 5 people who are closest to you. So definitely pass on that link to as many people, shout it from the rooftops. I cannot wait to see you guys there. If you have been following me long enough to be a part of my free workshops, you know, the biggest compliment that I always get is that it's like the most shifting 5 days of their lives, of your guys' lives. And that's just like what I'm here to do, is just to help you shift so that you can live your best life. And of course, whether you sign up for MBA or not, it is completely free, no strings attached. There's so much value that I jam-packed in here. So you're definitely going to get a transformation regardless. So join the transformation party. I cannot wait to see you there. manifestationbabe.com/abundance. I love you so much, and I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you absolutely loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on iTunes so that I can keep the good stuff coming your way. If you aren't already following me on social media, come soak up the extra inspiration on Instagram by following @manifestationbabe or visiting my website at manifestationbabe.com. I love and adore you so much and can't wait to connect with you in the next episode. In the meantime, go out there and manifest some magic.